Mr. Speaker, £700 million of taxpayers' money to remove 4 volunteers. What a contrast. We've got the flights off. 19,000 people removed who shouldn't be here. As with the NHS, with prisons, the economy, everything else, we're clearing up the mess that they lost.
Boom. The Prime Minister didn't just respond, he launched a full-scale demolition of Labour's border failures. The entire chamber was shaking. This week's PMQs turned into a political massacre, with Labour trying to dodge accountability for job losses, tax hikes, and migrant chaos. The PM wasn't having any of it. If you're tired of the spin and want real talk, hit that subscribe button for weekly political breakdowns without the fluff. It all kicked off when Labour's Migrant tried to corner the Prime Minister with a sobering statistic. Russia has abducted at least 19,000 Ukrainian children, allegedly brainwashed and placed in Russian homes. He demanded a hard stance. Would peacekeeping troops only be deployed if those children were returned and Putin prosecuted? But what started as a serious foreign policy moment quickly shifted focus. The PM agreed on the horror of the situation.
Speaker, firstly, I thank you for raising this issue because it is an absolutely terrible case of abduction and kidnapping.
Saying it was but the temperature rose when the topic flipped to domestic issues. Then Labour's Owen Davis unleashed a brutal swipe at the government.
With our allies.
On Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Telford and Britain voted for change in July. Yet this week we saw the bizarre spectacle of the Conservatives attempting to bring back the Rwanda policy, clinging onto a gimmick that cost the British taxpayers £700 million, yet only sent 4 volunteers to Rwanda. As Labour works to secure our borders through our plan for change.
That's when the gloves came off. Labour's talking point, the Rwanda deportation plan, was a disaster.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, £700 million of taxpayers' money to remove 4 volunteers. What a contrast.
Owen Davis scoffed. Quite clear the party opposite have done absolutely nothing. But the problem? That narrative collapsed fast. The PM hit back with brutal receipts.
He's quite right. They ran an open borders experiment that saw numbers go up to almost 1 million. And the leader of the opposition was the cheer.
Labour's attempt to paint the government as wasteful was torpedoed with a harsh reality. Under Labour's shadow, the immigration system was overwhelmed. As Davis tried to pivot to Labour's so-called plan for change, the PM threw down the hard truth.
Volunteers. What a contrast. We've got the flights off. 19,000 people removed who shouldn't be here. As with the NHS, with prisons, the economy.
The entire chamber roared. Labour wasn't just exposed. They were humiliated for failing to offer any alternative plan. Just attack, deflect, repeat. While Labour tried to gain traction with angry sound bites, the Prime Minister dropped bomb after bomb of cold economic reality. First up, job losses. Labour claimed his budget would cost between 130,000 and 300,000 jobs. The PM replied with composure.
Businesses, I'm really pleased to say we've got thousands of new jobs into the economy. We've got more investment in the last 20 years, an absolute record. Wages are up higher than prices, 3 interest rate cuts.
Then came the childcare debate, where Labour tried painting the PM as out of touch.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister is out of touch because he should know that nurseries are charging over £2,000 for full-time care. That's £24,000 a year after tax, and he's talking about 60p breakfast clubs. He has no idea what.
But the PM wasn't flustered. He shot back.
Shouldn't denigrate what she calls, I think, 60p breakfast clubs. She should be welcoming them. And
Labour mocked free school initiatives, while millions of families rely on them. Then came council tax. Labour said,
cope with it, the average council tax bill is increasing by over £100 in April, after he promised to freeze it. Hard-working families' money is...
Again, checkmate. The PM replied,
Speaker, the Tories put up council tax every year for 12 years. Their manifesto, Tory LGA manifesto, government should remove the caps on council tax. And then, Hampshire Council, Tory, wanted a 15% increase. We said no. Slough Council, again, Mr. Speaker, Tory, wanted 3%. We said no. Windsor and Maidenhead, Tory, now Lib Dem, wanted 25%. We said no. We're the ones that are doing the right things to get.
And just when Labour thought they'd landed a punch, the PM fired back with a brutal line.
Look at Liverpool, or maybe Birmingham, where the rubbish is piling up so high, people vote Labour and all they get is trash, just like what he's saying at the dispatch box.
Ouch! Labour kept swinging, but the Prime Minister was locked in and relentless. When they accused him of hurting pensioners, they didn't expect him to hit back with one of the most brutal stats of the session, Labour's jab.
Not just in Birmingham, millions of elderly people have had their winter fuel payments snatched away. At the same time, care home fees are set to go up by a devastating...
His reply, decisive.
Speaker, this is why it's so important that wages are up higher than prices. That's why it's so important that the interest rates are coming down. This is the biggest boost.
Then came a desperate attempt from Labour to paint the government as anti-farming.
Farmers who work so hard to produce our food. What does the Prime Minister have against farmers anyway? Does he not see that his budget is killing farming in this country? Yes. And he is making...
But again, the PM torched the claim.
Mr. Speaker, the budget provided £5 billion for farming over the next 2 years. That is a record amount. We've set out the roadmap for farming, which has been welcomed by farmers. And many thousands of farms have benefited from the farming schemes.
Even when Labour tried to claim he'd pulled funding from farmers by cancelling the sustainable farming incentive, the Prime Minister smirked.
Farming incentive, which he has just scrapped or withdrawn. They are making mistakes with this budget, and that's why in 2 weeks the Chancellor will come to this House.
Boom. The hypocrisy was overwhelming. The real kicker? Labour warned of a crashing economy, but the PM reminded the House.
It's the mess he's made.
Mr. Speaker, inflation under them 11%, £22 billion black hole. A mini budget that made us the laughing stock of the world, and they want to give
This wasn't just a rebuttal, it was a systematic annihilation, Labour's final blow, a promise of an emergency budget in 2 weeks, attempting to reclaim the narrative.
It is a high-tax, low-growth, job-killing government. Will he use the...
But the Prime Minister laughed it off with a simple truth.
To us, no, thank you very much.
And when they tried to corner him on disabled benefits cuts, the PM turned personal.
I thank him for raising this issue. Mr. Speaker, I come from a family that dealt with disability through my mother and brother over many years, so I do understand the concerns that have been raised by him. But we inherited a system which is broken. It is indefensible economically.
He wasn't just defending policy, he was bringing conviction.
But Labour is the party of work. We are also the party of equality and fairness. This month, she wrote in her newsletter that she'll keep working with Conservative colleagues to block a vital energy infrastructure project in her own backyard. She's not alone. The Shadow Foreign Secretary, Shadow Defence Secretary, Shadow DEFRA, they're all at it. What a bunch of blockers. On the right track.
Mr. Speaker.
No spin, no fluff, just facts. Make no mistake, Labour just got politically steamrolled. If you're fed up with performative outrage and want weekly breakdowns of what's really happening, hit that subscribe button. This isn't just politics, this is a beatdown, and we've got it all.